Hey everyone, it's Josh Kelly, RevuKangaroo. I want to walk you through something that comes up. People definitely ask us this, and that's, hey, I got this Google review and it's not legit in any way. How do I dispute it? It's actually a pretty simple system to dispute reviews with Google. The issue is, even though you've disputed, even though it may clearly not be a real review or there's some issues with it or a conflict of interest, it can still stay. In fact, it will most of the time. However, if it's obvious, it doesn't take much time and it's not a lot of effort to dispute. Well, we would do it for you normally, but if you're not working with us, you can do it yourself. It's pretty simple, right? I'll show you exactly how to do it. And by the way, guys, there's 4 things that they look for reason to dispute. So I just kind of want to cover those because if it's not one of those 4, you're kind of going to be in trouble. So number 1 is language. If it's really inappropriate language, they can and will remove reviews, and that's the easiest one to get rid of. You can actually get most of those removed. If it contains any kind of advertisement or spam, or they're talking about a competitor, that is a great way to get reviews removed, especially if they're negative. Obviously, if they're positive, you don't want them removed, right? If it's off topic, so if they're really not talking about your service at all, which happens surprisingly large amount of time, you can get that removed. It's a little bit harder. You have to prove it a little bit more, but you can also get those removed. And last, if there's a conflict of interest. So if it's a former employee or a competitor or whatever it is, you could kind of spell this out with different ways. You could work your magic on this, but it's hard to get approved and actually take it down. But the time spent is almost non-existent, so it's kind of worth it. All right, guys, I'm going to turn around real quick and just show you exactly how to do it. It's incredibly easy. Let me flip my screen around right now. All right, guys, you're looking at our search for RevuKangaroo. You can see on the right side is our Google business listing. We don't actually get negative reviews because we started with our program, and obviously with our program, we don't get negative reviews. I'm going to pull up an actual client of ours that did get a negative review and a real example, and we're actually going to dispute it because it's not legitimate. So here's Parker & Sons. I already pulled it up. This is a review from a disgruntled employee, so it's a conflict of interest. So it says, don't work for this company. They fired my boyfriend without notice because he supposedly wasn't generating leads and because he was slow. We have a 3-month-old baby. They don't care about us. Everyone is getting less leads, whatever. They also forced him to... This is just... I don't know the details on this in any way. So I'm not saying she's right or she's wrong. I know Parker & Sons, so I find it hard to believe, but certainly anything slips through the crack. What I can tell you is this is not a review. This is not a review on the service, on the company in general. This is a disgruntled employee with a conflict of interest. So we can, and we are going to, dispute this. Pretty simple, guys. Flag. Right next to it. Click on the flag. It's going to pull up the Google page. Hey, my email address. We're going to do josh@RevuKangaroo.com. And this post contains a conflict of interest. Submit. Done. So what they're going to do is they're going to look at that, and they're going to end up sending Parker & Sons, and maybe myself, depending, an email saying, hey, what's the conflict of interest? Can you describe? Now, that's pretty clear that this is not a real review. It's from an employee that's disgruntled, so they'll probably take it down either way. But you never know with Google. There's a chance that they don't, right? So that's how you dispute. Incredibly easy, guys. Make sure that you're looking at your bad reviews. If you're using our system, you're not going to get negative reviews. It would be a really rare situation where, just like this, a customer, or I guess not a customer, a former employee's girlfriend really went out of their way to write a negative review. So it doesn't happen often, but if it does happen, make sure we're looking into them. If we can, dispute them. They will sometimes take them down, and it's worth doing. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time. Let us know if you have any questions, ideas, comments on this. Just post them below in the comment section or write us an email, info@RevuKangaroo.com. We're here to help you guys, and I will talk to you guys next week. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.